Okay, we're live. Oh, and by the way, just 8 minutes ago, as I was getting everything set up, the Hydronova followed me on Twitch. So thanks, Hydronova, you're my 75th follower.
Yay!
That's a lot of Twitch followers, actually.
Yeah, and I'm still not an affiliate. Yay.
Yay!
You know what I found out pretty recently, actually? It's something like only 1% of total Twitch streamers actually manage to break into affiliate.
Really?
Not affiliate. It's
Partner?
It's like 1% of Twitch streamers have ever had an average of like 20 followers a stream on average. It's some number like that, like a small number of people, but it's like incredibly rare to get to that level, apparently.
And I'm really, really close.
Yeah.
I mean, I've long since blown 3 of the 4 requirements out of the water. I just need to get my average viewers up.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, I think everyone's here on map tool as well, is that right?
No, Kaze is missing.
Oh.
Okay.
It does. Map Tool does this thing, at least the new launcher, where I'll click it to open the launcher, and then it opens a sub window. Like, do you want to open Map Tool or the launcher? But that sub window doesn't actually open a thing on my toolbar. So if I'm doing anything when it opens, it just won't show me that until I Alt Tab.
Oh yeah, that's just one of those windows that doesn't have a thing on the taskbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed it right away. Is that why it takes so long for you to get it open?
Yeah, because it doesn't like pop up for me immediately.
Ah.
I've been sitting here, I'm like, man, I tried launching it like 2 minutes ago. Oh, it's been waiting. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alright. So, somebody want to do a quick recap?
Boss rush.
Basically.
That was
Pretty
quick,
much.
Yeah.
Also, we got a demon a new home.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's got a mansion.
And Domisha almost died.
And the rogue almost like got himself kicked the shit out of while trying to steal a hat from another demon.
But he got an apron, a hat, and a fancy flaming dagger.
And we disrobed a bunch of civilians because they were ignoring us.
Yeah.
As you do.
Domisha was to blame for that one.
Okay, I
Okay.
think that about covers it.
Alright. So yeah, you guys are now in the Nightmare Realm. You have been for a while. That was the portal that you all went through. And apparently you have found the source of all of these nightmares and odd behavior. Apparently whatever that object that you all found in the Legion Commander's office, apparently that allowed these creatures to start spreading their influence out through your world. And by taking it back to where it was and going into theirs, you seem to be able to confront them pretty directly and take them on. You have so far taken down 3 of them, and there's, again, based on the ramblings of the crazy old lady, which, you know, if you can trust ramblings of a crazy old lady, there's probably 2 more to go.
Crazy old ladies are always right.
When it comes to crazy old ladies dispensing plot information, yes they are.
Just like anybody telling you the rules for a puzzle is always going to tell you the truth.
Saw a riddle posted recently that kind of takes advantage of that. They had the infallible, always truthful puzzle giver tell them to like touch a statue.
I know exactly
then
what
the
article
statue-
you're talking about. I just read it last night.
Yeah,
The
Angry GM?
Yep. I've
Yeah.
been following his blog for over a year.
yeah. I don't follow it, but I check on it every now and then, and something linked me to it, and I was just kind of poking through. But yeah, they made them think that the only one of these statements is true was one of the.
Hold on. We
Sorry.
we shouldn't reveal
Spoilers.
it in case.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that is off topic. You guys have just killed one of the nightmares. It is currently just you're currently in the marketplace with the creepy people who don't seem to want to respond to you in the least. 3 of the sides of this market square are covered, are just buildings, plain, nondescript buildings, no signs, no alleyways between them, no lights on inside. And one side, the eastern side, kind of over this area, does appear to have a road or path of some description leading off in that direction.
Right. The only thing to do is to head down that path.
All right. You follow the path for a little ways. It appears that this village, quote unquote, is basically just the market square and the buildings and this crowd of people. They all kind of left the square as you all had your little fight. They stand there and just outside of the ring of buildings and just kind of mill about as you all leave and gradually start filtering back into the marketplace. They still don't really seem to have taken any note of anything that's gone on at this point. The path kind of twists and winds through a more open area. Eventually it goes from paved, or at least cobblestone, like path that someone has set down, to just worn footpath that appears to, kind of just be following, traffic and whatnot. The sky is still in this odd half twilight, half not state. And as you follow on along, there's a little bit of brush, a little bit of undergrowth that kind of starts going up as if you're going into like wilder areas. And before too long, the village kind of disappears into the twilight darkness behind you, and you see a cliff face looming up ahead of you. And let me shift maps here real quick.
Is the sky the same color still?
Yes, it is.
Huh.
All right. As you follow the path, it seems to be leading into just a rock face up ahead. Doesn't show any signs of veering away or anything like that. But as you come closer, you see that there is a rather large cave entrance cut into the rock face. The path seems to kind of peter out about here. All right, so you guys are moving up.
Verily.
Okay.
Lisa's going to preemptively take out a torch and hand it to Alexander just in case. Because cave, we don't know what the lighting situation is going to be.
Yay!
You could just have me cast light on something that he's carrying, like his gun.
That would draw a lot of attention, though.
So would a torch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can use that as like a club.
I mean, yeah, like light in the spell description says it casts light as a torch. In terms of like amount of light catching attention from something, it's going to be the same either way.
Yeah.
I honestly keep forgetting Demisha has it. It's all.
Yeah, but at least in this way, he's not holding a gun and a torch. He's just holding a gun.
Yeah, that way I can reload.
I mean,
Yeah.
that works.
What can you actually use cast light on?
Any non-living object.
I mean,
I think it also has to be able to fit in a single square.
I think so.
probably could just cast it on my glove then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, people usually use the casting it on your clothing exploit. I was trying to get away from that.
Is it really an exploit?
It kind of is, because they don't want you casting it on people.
Yeah.
Well,
It does specify object rather than creature, and like a torch or something that you're holding in your hand, something else could like knock it out of your hand. With your clothes, they can't exactly do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's real. If that was an exploit, they would have long since done an addendum that would have said that the object can't be worn. I don't think they have they?
I suppose that's true, but they also still haven't resolved the whole, what's it called, the peasant railgun?
No. I mean, that's just a mechanic of the readying actions and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's mainly because that's a situation that just, under most circumstances, is never going to come up. But,
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
I'll just cast it on your coat then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Also, yeah, I think the peasant railgun is something I don't know of any GM that would actually allow that to fly on a table. But yeah, that is one of my favorite D&D physics hacks. So
the name.
Or the flying elephants.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that one, but
In 5th edition, you can get a spell pretty early that lets you summon fey creatures, and one of the fays you can summon is pixies, and they can cast polymorph.
oh
So
boy.
you can summon 8 pixies, assuming the GM allows it, have 4 of them cast fly on your 4 party members, and the other 4 transform you into, like, T-Rexes or something, and you've got a party of flying T-Rexes.
Yeah, that seems.
I love it.
At low
Problematic.
level. Low level.
I need that to happen in a game.
No.
Just a party of flying T-Rex.
I could have sworn I told you all this story before.
I think
You
you,
might
did.
have.
You just didn't say elephants last time.
Yeah, when she like started saying like the pixies, it rang a bell. But yeah. All right. So you guys are at the mouth of the cave. You don't see anything in the entryway in here. Alexander's coat is currently glowing and emitting light within 30 feet of him, and dim light from 31 to 60 feet away.
I'm going to step out of the human torch here, and I'm going to start looking for traps.
All right. Lise kind of pretty thoroughly examines this area, does not find any traps. It appears to be a completely natural cave. If you had to guess, this cave actually, like, it was formed naturally, and it hasn't been artificially hollowed out or anything like that.
In that case, I'm going to roll a perception to look or listen for anything out of the ordinary.
You hear something shifting further back. It doesn't sound like it's necessarily like coming towards you. It's just something moving around deeper into the cave. If you had to guess, it's probably pretty big.
I'm going to relay that information that something is moving. It could be non-hostile, but given our current situation, I doubt that's the case. So just proceed with caution. I don't know where it's coming from, just that it's coming from back somewhere.
Also, just to be clear, I'm going to say that these browner areas are difficult, whereas the lighter color ones are clear. They're fairly flat. Broken ground versus level.
Ada's gonna wait right here because she kind of needs the flashlight too.
Everyone but Lise needs the flashlight.
How dark is it? Is it like dark or low dark?
Within the, like, in this area here, low light will do you just fine. You can tell further back in the cave, it's dark.
Okay, then we kind of need Alexander to follow us.
And yeah.
Well, you need Alexander to follow you.
Never split the party, guys. Don't send the rogue by himself.
We saw what happened last time. I nearly got mauled by wolves.
Oh no, what happened last time was the demon. The demon got you last time. We
It
don't
was what?
learn.
I mean, you had no way of knowing that there was another demon cook already waiting in the kitchen. He was
That's
going
it.
to burst out into the main fight, and it was going to be a comical moment. Instead, it became an even more comical moment.
And he's still wearing the hat. He refuses to take the hat off.
What is the range of Lisa's dark vision? 60 feet or 120?
60 feet.
Okay. So yeah, Lisa approaches. You can see over this patch of rough ground into this area. You hear whatever's moving back there is closer, but you don't see it yet.
Okay, I'm just gonna let him know that it's close, but it's not 60 feet close. So I'm just going to slowly slide out here, and I'm going to roll stealth. Wonderful. The rolls are beginning.
Okay, let's see here. Hang on just a second. All right. So Lise begins sneaking up as quietly as possible. And right at the edge of your dark vision, round about here, you see something large. This large, almost serpentine shape shifting in the darkness ahead of you. You kind of duck down and like scuttle forward quietly, but you do kick loose a couple rocks as you're moving forward, and it kind of rears up and looks towards you. So everyone go ahead and roll initiative.
Is it a Durgan?
Oh boy.
Not quite a Durgan.
Well,
3 sixes. This is
The
gonna go well.
devil is among us.
okay, let's see. Lise probably has the highest dex, 20. Ada's got a 12. Alexander has a 19. So, yeah, let me just fix that real quick.
I'm sorry. I'm amused by like Domisha broke that up from being a bad number.
Go, Domisha.
Technically, I think the Mark of the Beast is a totally different number. Is it
616.
616? Yeah.
Though that changes depending on what name you use. Because the Mark of the Beast was the name of one of the Caesars if you just used the Roman numerals from his name.
Yeah, I think it came from like Nero's name or something like that.
Yeah, and depending on if you included part of the name or not, it was either 666 or 616.
Yeah, remember, children. Be good, or else the dreaded Evive will come and get you. No, wait, that'd be 414. Vivi.
Is this why so many people have problems with Final Fantasy IX?
No.
Bad joke. It was a joke.
I know, but you make it sound like that's the only game with a character named Vivi.
It's the only character I know that has a Vivi.
You never heard of Brain Dead 13 then?
What's that?
It's, I guess you could call it a Dragon's Lair-like. It was on the PS1.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. Alright. It is Demisha's turn. Your light radius is extending like this way. So until Alexander moves up and actually starts shedding some light out in this direction, you all without dark vision can't actually see that way.
Well, do I
if
even
you-
know anything is there?
I did say that something was close, and I probably would have like signaled.
Yeah, we can say like Lise has been pretty effective at hand signals. If nothing else, just like drawing weapons and things. I think it's safe to say that he's letting you all know that he's been noticed.
Okay. Well, given our conditions, it would be the best idea if we could lure him closer to the entrance. So I think we should get its attention and egg it on and try and get it to follow us.
Okay. Do you have ideas for how Demisha is going to go about doing that?
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this like a pathway or is it not?
That's a wall, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure it's a wall. I cast dancing lights and make provocative patterns.
All right. Where are you placing that?
Right around here.
Okay. So yeah, you cast a spell. I don't know exactly what you mean by provocative patterns, but there's
I don't know, like
there's a nice little. Go ahead.
like combine all four of the lights together into the quote vaguely humanoid shape that it says they can make, and make it do the bring it on hand gesture.
Okay, that works. So yeah, at least all of a sudden there's a glowing person next to you that seems to be up and raring for a fight. And yeah, that kind of puts pay to stealth, but it seems to have noticed you anyway. Demisha, that's your standard action. Are you going to do anything else?
Nope, just gonna wait and see what happens.
Well, stealth is no longer an option since I have the neon man next to me.
Pretty sure it already noticed you anyway.
Oh, it did, but let me see. Okay, it's within exactly 60 feet. Well, we have the bring it on man gesturing.
Somebody draw him on there. I want to see him.
Oh no. Because I feel like attacking it would make what Demisha did pointless. But at the same time, that might actually encourage it to follow us. Ideas.
Shoot it.
That would get its attention.
It would, but I'm afraid that will also put, like, Domisha's whole thing to, like, no point. But, gonna take up the short bow, take a shot at it, just to try and get its attention to draw it out.
I posted something relevant in the tabletop.
Whether that hits or not, as soon as I take the shot, I am moving.
Alright. Well, it has not acted yet, so you're attacking against its flat-foot AC, which means it does, in fact, hit. Ranged attacks...
Sneak.
You don't.
No?
Ranged attacks can trigger sneak attack, but only within 30 feet.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna risk it getting that close and letting it maul my face off. I've learned my lesson about that.
Okay.
It
How's
does
that?
have pretty sharp teeth. I like it. It's
I like it.
beautiful.
Yes, I just shot, move, and that's it.
Alrighty. Alexander, you're up.
Okay, so are we just generally gonna wait for this thing to possibly come into view before attacking?
Seems like it.
I'm the only
Okay.
one who can see it, so...
Where does this, like, wall end? Is it here or here?
It's here. Pointer. Pointer.
Right through here.
Here. This is the edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, this is a valid square to be in if you want to be. You're just, like, pushed up right against the wall.
Yeah. I'm gonna press up against the wall and prepare an action, and if the thing that Lise says is over there comes into view, he's just gonna take a shot at it.
Okay.
And that's it.
Alright, so that's a ready to action for Alexander. And Ada's turn.
Well, I can't take a 5-foot step onto difficult terrain, but I'll just... Yeah, actually I'm going to stay here because that's difficult terrain and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to hold my actions to... If I
Okay.
can hit it, then I will hit it, but if it doesn't get close enough, then I'm staying right here.
Alright. So ready to action again for you, right?
Yes.
All right. You can't see it because those of you who have dark vision, you've got broken line of sight. But again, you hear something large kind of slithering towards you over the stone.
Oh, look, it is technically large.
It went to go make a friend.
It's moving very fast.
It is.
It is. All right, Alexander's ready pistol shot can go off. However, you are within 10 feet of it. Since this is a large creature, that means you are within its reach, and it can attempt to make an attack of opportunity against you.
I just accidentally copied my masterwork pistol macro by dragging it. Well, I mean, it was a ready to action, so.
Okay. Your shot hits. There's a burst of light and flash of powder. And it's going to use its AOO. And
Haha.
Yeah.
Loser.
very much is not able to successfully attack. It has used both of its actions now on movement, so that concludes its turn. Demisha, it is your turn. Everyone can now see it because it is within the range of Alexander's glowing coat.
Okay. Before things get too messy, Domisha is gonna look at the thing.
Okay.
She's gonna make it her stare target. And she's
Okay.
also going to cast Doom.
All right. That is a -1 on all attacks and rolls against fear, if I recall correctly. Yes.
Doom? No, it causes the shaken status.
Oh.
So
okay.
it's a
Nice.
negative. It's a, what does it say? -2 to attack
-2, I
rolls,
think.
damage rolls, saves, and checks.
Okay. I'm thinking about Bane. Excuse me. And Bless and Bane are opposite effects. I was
Yeah,
thinking
but
about
it
that
does get a will save to negate the effect.
one. All right. And -2 because you're staring at it. Yes.
Is that -2 or is it -1?
I believe it's -2.
Yeah, it's -2.
All right. And what's the DC?
17.
That's a very much no.
Oh, sorry, 16. But yeah,
That's
it fails.
Still very much no. All right.
Right.
Yeah. So he is now shaken, which is basically -2 on most D20 rolls. And Demisha, do you want to move?
Yes, I do. Now that it knows we're here, I'm gonna start retreating.
Bye.
Alrighty, Lise.
Since I'm within its, if I shoot with my bow, will it get an attack of opportunity off on me since I'm within 10 feet?
Yeah.
It would, however, it has used its AOO for the round. If it has combat reflexes, then it will have multiple attacks of opportunity.
Didn't
if
it
it does
use-
not have that feat.
Didn't it use its AOO last round?
It did. Since it was on its own round, I'm counting it for I'm counting the breakpoint as the start of its round. Like at the start of your round, you get your used AOO back, basically.
It still seems weird that an AOO can be used in your own turn.
Yeah, readied actions can do odd things like that. As far as I know, it's legal for that to work.
In that case, does Shaken make it able to be sneak attacked or again, or is that only when I'm not in the
No.
line of sight? Okay. In that case, I'm going to get back here and take another shot at it because I've got a clean
Okay.
line of sight.
So that movement normally leaving its threatened area would provoke another AOO, but it does not take one.
I couldn't 5-foot step because I'd still be in its range as soon as it moved again.
Right.
It would have to go through me first.
That's another 16.
That one does hit. So again, Lise plinks it with a bow. It kind of just strikes it up near the snout.
He's just taking pot shots and running.
Basically. That's a valid tactic. And that's all for Lise?
That's all he can do. That was both of his actions.
Alright, Alexander. If you're talking, we can't hear you, or at least I can't.
Yep, I have my mic muted. Just
Good job.
Okay, I'm gonna move. I think to here. Was that the spot? Let me check.
You're still 20 feet away from it there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure. And then, since I have rapid reload and alchemical cartridges, I can reload as a swift action. I think it's called. Is that
Okay.
right?
That sounds correct, yes.
And then, I'll fire again. That was not a good roll.
It was not. However, its touch AC is pretty dang low, and that is, in fact, enough to hit.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I'll
on
take
a
it.
nat 2.
Okay. And actually, ooh, hold on a second. Yeah, that is a 2, isn't it? Let me check something, because that might be a,
Your
Miss-
misfire says it only goes on a 1.
It
Yeah,
is, but
alchemical
cartridges increase it by
Yeah.
1.
I misfire on the 2.
Okay. So in that case, I believe the shot does not go off in that case, correct? Right?
Yeah, it jams up. So,
Okay. So your weapon now has the broken condition. You do have a gunslinger deed. You should have access to the deed quick clear, which I believe
yeah.
allows you to clear that more quickly than normal. But
Yeah.
for right now, it has the broken condition.
Yeah, I think I think it's like a move action to do it, so I'll do it next turn.
Yeah. I think it's like a move action as long as you have grit, and then like you can spend a grit to do it as a free action. I believe that's how it runs. But yeah. All right, Ada. Your
Well,
party is rapidly falling back.
yes, and that's the plan. So I'm gonna go here. I'm just gonna stay generally in front of Alexander. So, because I have the most armor.
Maybe move here instead?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. And I assume readying an attack again.
Yeah, but it's got reach, so I can't hit it anyways. But
Yeah.
actually, I'm gonna throw a javelin at it.
Okay, you can do that.
I forget that I have those. Alright, javelin time. Nope.
Alas, you're not sure exactly how you missed it. In fact, you do hit it,
It's
just doesn't
dark.
the javelin doesn't stick in.
There's those tentacles, and I don't know what I'm aiming for.
Hey, is there a thing where, Okay, this is the weirdest thing about armor class. Like, the concept of armor class in D&D and Pathfinder. Because the thing is bigger, it should be easier to hit, right?
Yes, and it
They
is.
do have that, yeah.
But does that mean it takes a penalty to its AC? Or does it
It
get a
does.
higher AC because it's got tougher skin?
So, what you're looking at, there is a size modifier to your armor class. Medium creatures get no benefit or penalty. Large creatures are at a -1. Small creatures are at a +1, and then those penalties scale up as you get both bigger and smaller. But
Okay, so it works more like evasion and not like D&D's armor class.
yes and no. So a large creature does have a penalty to its armor class. However, large creatures usually also have a natural armor bonus. So, like, if you do have something like a dragon that's big but has a very, very tough skin, it's going to have, a -1, -4, somewhere in that range for its size. But it's also going to have, like, maybe a +8 or +12 from armor classes, or from natural armor as well. And that applies to things like your natural armor applies to flat-footed, as your size also applies to flat-footed, I believe, but only the size bonus applies to the touch armor class, which is why big creatures are so easy for gunslingers to hit, especially because they also tend to have low dexterity modifiers.
Okay, so it's still the weird mix of both evasion and deflection.
Right. Which is why Lise, who has very little armor but is super dodgy, and Alexander and Ada, who have much more armor. In fact, that's Lise and Alexander both don't wear much armor but are rather dodgy, and Ada is not dodgy at all but has heavy armor. That's why they have about the same AC.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's an abstraction. It's something that's been around since the game began, but meh. Alright. So Ada chucks a javelin at it. The javelin kind of bounces off of its hide, doesn't appear to affect it. I'm going to need Ada and Alexander. You both notice this wave of cold coming out in front of the creature. So I'm going to need you guys to make a fort save, please.
Heck yes.
Alright.
Mine is... Oh, wow. That's a 10, actually.
Okay. So Alexander takes 2 points of cold damage. Ada takes 1 as the creature approaches. And it is going to... is going to move forward to there and attempt to bite at Ada. And it is going to very much not succeed. That's a nat 1, so it's an automatic miss, even if it wasn't horribly under her AC.
Get wrecked.
Alright, Demisha, your turn.
And taking a -3 penalty to attack rolls.
That as well, yes.
Okay. Alexander is near it, so I should be able to see it just fine.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move and... Is my crossbow already loaded?
You can carry a crossbow loaded, so you haven't fired it. I will say that it is.
Okay, I fire it. 10. That's not gonna hit.
That does not hit, no. Good damage roll, though.
That's fine. Do I still have enough actions or whatever to reload?
Let's see, you started here?
Right above it.
There.
She started right here, I believe, because she was right
Okay,
on
right
my
there.
angle.
Okay, yeah. So in that case, yeah, you could 5-foot step because you're kind of on the edge of the difficult terrain, but not in. So you could 5-foot step, fire, and then reload. Yes.
Okay, done.
All right, Lise.
I'm gonna take another shot because why not? 13.
Also hits it, but doesn't go through its hide.
Let's see. I am within 35 feet of it. Well, technically 30 feet of it, because. So yeah, I'm just gonna. You know, I'm gonna 5-foot step back here, and that's it. Give Demisha kind of a clearer line of sight.
Alrighty. Alex, it's currently not threatening you.
Okay, I'm going to use a grit point to use quick clear as a move action, because otherwise it's standard. At least I think it's a... Let me check it one more point, or one more time just to make sure. Alternatively... Yeah, move equivalent to action step standard. So, yeah, I'm going to clear it, reload it, and... Or, well, should I keep moving, or should I try to fight it here? What do you guys think?
Whichever you decide, Ada's ready to engage it here, or we can keep moving back.
Would it be better for us to get it out in the open, you think?
You're
I think here
as,
is fine.
As long as you're there, everybody can see it.
Has anyone tried, like, learning anything about this thing yet?
Who cares? It's a monster. We gotta kill it.
I'm saying, what if it's like, I don't know, weak to like sunlight or something, and there's sunlight out there?
Well, it was in a really dark cave, and Lise, as a person, can like attest. People acclimated to the dark don't like the light.
Well, I had already planned from the beginning to kill it roughly in this area because I knew that if it was sleeping in a dark cave like this, it probably doesn't like the sunlight, so it probably wouldn't follow us out there anyway. As soon as
also, point of order, you all haven't seen the sun since you came to this plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that too.
Whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna take a shot then. Bang.
All right. So yeah, 15 does manage to hit its touch AC. We've already established that you can't miss it unless you misfire.
Yep.
And
And that actually would be 3 because it's within 30 feet. 3 damage.
all right, noted. And that's it for Alexander's turn.
Yes. Hopefully
Alright,
there's
Ada.
not much more after this. I'm actually running out of ammo.
Alright, 5-foot step, and I'm gonna take a swing at it.
Go get it.
Did I get it?
You, in fact, hit it. Yes.
Yay!
Alrighty. So Ada moves in and just starts hacking at the thing with its axe, and it doesn't seem to care for that in the least. Excuse me. And it is now its turn again, and I'm going to need Alexander and Ada to make another fort save. All right. So you
That
both
would be a
take,
19.
yeah, you both take half damage, so 2 points of cold. All right. It's going to make another attempt to bite at Ada. It is still shaken, which is a -2 penalty.
Isn't it too
and-
close?
No. So if you have a reach weapon, you can attack at 10 feet, but not at 5. If you just have natural reach, you can attack like anywhere within that distance.
Got it.
And that is, again, very much not successful, especially with the penalties that it has. Demisha, do you give it a -1 on attacks just because you're staring at it as well?
I thought I did, but let me double check. I think
I'm
it's
pretty sure.
I think it's just a penalty to will saves and extra damage when we hit him.
Well, there was like one other rider effect that you could attach to your stare, and I remember a penalty to damage is one of those options, but I can't remember if that's the one you took or not. I think it was actually a -2, in fact. But in any case, it misses, and it is Demisha's turn. So,
And now it's just Doom right now imposing a -2 to attack rolls, as well as other things. Okay, well, gotta find my crossbow.
all right,
14.
that is just shy of its AC. So, yeah.
Okay, and that's 2 bolts, so I've effectively lost 1 so far.
Yeah. And reload, and that's all.
Pretty much. I just gotta keep staring at it. I went first this round, so this is actually very beneficial for everybody. Next person that hits it, if you want to add... Let's see, what was it?
I believe it's still +1 damage because it's half your Mesmer's level, which rounds down by default.
Yeah, next person that hits it, if you want to add 1 damage, go for it.
Should have been doing that all along, but we forgot about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot at it. That's 25.
That is a hit, definitely. So,
Might as well just add it to mine since that's a hit if Domisha wants. It's gonna be a +1 no matter who does it.
yeah.
I did say go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I'll do that and I'm just holding position. Just shoot, hold.
Yeah, I think I just looked up at the Mesmer's page. I think for Demisha's bold stareability, I thought you did take the timidity. So the penalty, which normally applies to will saves, also applies on damage rolls if you're staring at a target, if that's the one that you took.
Timidity?
Timidity.
Crap, I never actually wrote it down. Or I did, and it didn't save.
Yeah. Anyway, we can sort that out as we go. It is also Alexander's turn now.
I have a question.
No, I took disorientation.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Timidity's damage and disorientation's attack. So it is taking right now a -4 on its attack rolls.
-4. God damn, it's never gonna hit us.
Pretty much now.
Don't say never.
Yeah, go ahead, Kaze.
And actually, scrap that. I'm just gonna reload and shoot it.
Okay. Alright, that hits. +1 damage for point blank shot there.
Yeah.
This thing is just going to be feathered by the time we're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's been eating a lot of hits, and it's looking. It's not looking near death, but it is definitely not liking what you guys are doing to it right now.
Hey, Kaze?
Yeah.
Since you are running low on ammo, and since I've got this thing debilitated pretty hard, maybe you should switch to a different weapon.
Well, yeah, probably would be best because I only got 9 shots left. Which could be bad if we have a lot more after this.
Yeah.
I smack it.
Alright. You do, in fact, smack it, and it does, in fact, hurt.
I'm trying to chop off tentacles as I go.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely enough damage. You're working on it. You're hacking at it. It's more serpentine, but it does have some like tentacly bits as well. So yeah, it's a weird cross between a sea serpent and an octopus. It's a little bit
Also
strange.
on land, though.
Also on land. All right. Again, since you guys are still within 20 feet, save versus cold damage for Alexander and Ada.
That'd be an 18.
Dang it.
Okay. So Ada takes the full 5, Alexander only takes 2. And let's see here.
Ada's starting to look worse for wear there.
I can heal myself as a swift action. I'm only down 20 HP. I'm sure it's fine.
God damn it. I
I
haven't
still
actually...
have 14 left, though.
You know, I actually should have hit it that one turn. I forgot I took point blank shot.
I don't think you're within 30 feet of it.
Oh, okay, not quite.
Yeah, not quite. All of a sudden, there's this bubble of darkness that appears around Ada. Ada, you are completely blacked out. You cannot see at all. Kaze, you can, Kaze and the rest of you, including Lise with your dark vision, you can see up to the edge of the circle there. You can see, yeah, hang on. Yeah, you can see up to the edge of the circle, but past it is just pitch blackness. Ada, you can hear it moving around in front of you. You can't tell exactly where it's going. Since you can't see it, but you know what square it should be in, you can attempt to do an attack of opportunity if you think it's... Oh, well. Yeah, it's going to do a withdraw, so... Oop.
We've got it on the ropes. Ada yells from the darkness.
Would I recognize this as a darkness spell, since I can cast that?
This is actually not darkness, I don't think.
I think it's deeper darkness, but I didn't take Drow Nobility Greater, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, given that is something that like dark elves can cast natively, you would recognize if this was a darkness spell, you'd be able to see it. And because you cannot, it is in fact deeper darkness.
Okay, and I'm just gonna put that like, even I can't see through that, so it's trying to lure us. And we don't really have any options.
And it is Demisha's turn.
Okay, well, if it's on the ropes and running away, we should definitely chase after it.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to here. Make sure my crossbow is reloaded. And...
I believe you've been reloading after you fired each turn, so
Oh.
you should be able to
I
do
was
both.
just
actions.
Like I said, I didn't reload, just making sure it is reloaded.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all. I don't want to make a mad dash through the darkness just yet. Not until
That's
Ada
fair.
gets ahead of me.
That's fair.
Okay, let's
Alright.
see. Okay, if I move 10 feet and I start into difficult terrain, would I be able to move 10 and then still have my normal 20, so I'd be able to move another 10?
Yes. Yeah. So you could get to here on a single move action.
Because, yeah, the point is, because we know that it's retreating, Lisa's actually going to just, he's going to loop around, because it was here, so he knows it had to go backwards. We would have seen it if it came forwards.
Yes, you would have seen it if it tried to come around this way.
So, yeah, he's just going to go to here and just take a look around, make sure it's not up ahead here.
Okay. You don't see it, but again, you can only see into this area around here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just roll me a perception
Okay.
for listening.
That would be a 27.
Okay. You hear it moving, generally this way direction. It's hard to put a pinpoint on it, but when it moves again, I will tell you if it sounds like it's getting closer or further away.
Okay, I would also like to roll a stealth.
Okay.
28.
Yeah, it did not hear you going up that way.
Okay. And yeah, that's my turn.
I will say, if it comes around the corner, it's gonna see you because
Well-
you don't really have cover from it. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't really move. Well, I probably could have moved here, but that would have kept me in difficult terrain, so.
Right. All right, Alexander.
How does moving twice in one turn work?
You spend your standard action as a move action, and you just move your speed twice. It doesn't have any special rules to it other than you can't take a standard action with it.
Alright, in that case, I'm going to use my Swift to reload and start heading down this way. And this is difficult terrain, right?
Yeah. So this square.
It's
this
basically
square.
everything past Ada. From here on is
Yeah.
difficult.
Are you
Yeah.
moving in a straight line from here to here?
Yeah.
Okay. That looks like it's gonna be 4 squares of difficult terrain, so just move 40.
Yeah.
Okay, and as I'm moving, I'm going to draw my cutlass as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an acrobatic check. It's going to be fairly low DC, but
12. Let me actually check what my acrobatics is. So 15.
okay. You're able to negotiate. So you're trying to traverse difficult terrain in absolute pitch darkness.
Yeah,
When
he's
you
got
step
light. Oh,
when you
Well,
step
yeah.
into the area of darkness, it just goes out. But you are able to navigate through without falling flat on your face or anything. And then once you come back out here, there we go. Your light does come back on.
It does?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It says darkness counters and dispels. Generally, that I believe that refers to if there's a light spell active when the darkness is cast. I think it just suppresses it if you move a light spell through it. At least that's how I've always interpreted that.
yeah, he wasn't the target, so.
And you see it just at the edge of the dim light cast by your glowing coat.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be it for now then.
All right, Ada.
Well, if I take 2 actions to move, I can get right here.
All right, also roll me in acrobatics, please.
Okay. Everyone pray for me. Oh, dear Lord.
That's
a 3. That's a 3.
That's 3. Okay. All right. I will say that in this square, then you do catch your feet on the difficult terrain. You trip and you fall prone, but that's still within your first move action, if I'm not mistaken. So you should be able to get back up.
Stand up.
All right.
So I'm here.
Yes, you're there. Alrighty.
Can I peek my head out of the darkness a little bit?
Sure. You see that Alexander's made it across.
I just wanted to comment, Alexander, I didn't know you had a weapon other than a gun.
He's used the cutlass before.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
once.
remember.
Didn't notice.
it's always strapped to his hip.
Ada didn't notice.
I guess it's easy to ignore it when there's just bang happening all the time.
Yeah, that's all she associates with you. Just bang.
Well, I mean, he is walking rifles.
I have rifles for legs. Can you imagine how much that would suck?
Oh boy, I made a friend.
You did. Fortunately for you, it takes both of its move actions to get there and is unable to attack you. But hi over there.
Surprise!
Can I take the
Demisha.
free action to just scream friend?
Yes,
Screaming
you
is
may.
always a free action.
They just hear Lee scream, friend, go away!
All right. So yeah, you guys hear Lise shouting up above you, and it is Demisha's turn again.
Okay, assuming this corridor is well lit, I should be able to see the creature, right?
You don't really have a line of sight to it. Like your direct line of sight runs through this wall.
I mean,
I'll say that-
if it was well lit, I'd be able to see like the corner of it, right?
Like the wall ends here, so like drawing that back
it's
to your
there?
space, that
Okay.
like kind
It looked kind of the same color as this.
of yeah, like this is the separation between the wall and the difficult terrain.
Okay, but there's no light over there at all.
There's some faint light coming in from in here that gives you dim, I'll say roughly to here, like right at the edge of where the creature is.
Okay, why did it skip my turn?
I don't know. I didn't tell it to go next, at least I don't think I did, but yeah, there you go.
Anyway, Demisha is going to tell Ada and Alexander that the monster is not in that direction, it's circled around,
Okay.
and that they need to retreat. And Demisha tells Lise also to retreat, either down here with the rest of us or outside, whichever he thinks he can make it to.
Okay. Yeah, you would definitely be able to see it as it like traverses this area though, from light coming in from outside.
It might be best. Does the difficult terrain affect the creature? Did we happen to see it having trouble with it when it was down south?
It did seem to slow it down some, yes.
Okay, maybe it'd be best if Lise came down here with the rest of us then. So if it tried to retreat in that direction again, it'd be slowed down.
That was the plan, actually.
Okay.
Alright. Do you want to ready?
Demisha is going to ready an action until the monster is visible. I'm assuming this part here is lit
Yeah.
from the outside
Like at
light.
least low light.
Yeah. Alright, ready an action to fire it when she can see it.
Alrighty.
I would like to take a withdrawal action to get out of its threatened square.
Okay. So that allows you to move up to twice your speed without provoking an attack of opportunity when you leave the square you start in.
Okay, so that's 5 feet of difficult terrain, so I'm going to mark that. And this is where the non-difficult starts,
Yes.
so I can go 55.
Yes.
Okay, at that point, Lise is just going to book it. Let's see. Here. He's actually going to wind up running straight into the darkness. But we do
Okay.
want to lure it that way, so... At least I think that's Demisha's plan.
Ada's gonna walk right into you if you're not careful.
At that point, he's going to stop right here.
So Lise is just on the edge of the darkness effect, and it seems to have skipped over Alexander. Yeah.
I figured out the problem.
Okay.
If I hit space when the initiative window is active, it skips to the next turn.
Okay.
It's just all Demisha sees is just.
Anyway,
Lise
I was
come
trying to
hauling
point to the
ass.
space next to me. That would have been 55.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure where we were trying to lure it. If we were trying to lure it into the big cave, or if we wanted to lure it here.
We just want it in the light. That's all I want.
Okay, then. I would have run to here then.
Alrighty.
Because
So-
that makes more sense.
All right, Alexander.
So, someone actually like shouted the orders to come back around, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can make this in as few. Wait, there we go. To there, using both movements.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do another acrobatic check because you're moving. You're doing your full movement here. Okay, yeah, you're okay.
Yay.
You kind of, sort of, almost bump into Ada, but other than that, you're able to traverse that just fine. All right, Ada, your turn.
From the darkness, you hear, "Here we go again!" And Ada's gonna turn around and come back.
I'll say you can, if you move carefully, if you only do a single move action, I won't make you do the roll to trip, especially since you've already fallen and are, like, know to kind of be
Alright,
cautious
so
about
this
that.
is 10 feet. If I don't move twice, I'm still in the dark, though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to move twice.
okay.
Alright, here comes the acrobatics check. 10.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that you're able to re-traverse that without falling this time. Alright, and that is all of your movements, so it is now the creature's turn.
I can see it now, right?
Yes. So yeah, you can take your readied.
23. There we go.
Okay.
For 1 damage plus your stare.
Plus D6,
One off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus 2d6. That goes up every... Oh, it's... Isn't it?
Yeah, we were discussing this. I think technically you're only supposed to kick in the extra damage at 3rd level, and it becomes like from just your normal +1 to 1d6, but I've been ruling it as it was 1d6 from 1st level, and then went up to 2d6 thereafter. So I'm going to stick with that ruling, since that's how we've been playing it.
Hold on.
I will say that you lost a line of sight to it, and you had your standard action ready to fire, but it hasn't been your turn to do the swift action to stare at it again yet.
Do I need to maintain line of sight on something to keep staring at it?
I
Well-
believe you do.
Huh. Okay, so it's not like marking.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want me to roll 1d6 or 2?
Go ahead and roll 2.
Okay, so that's 7 damage total.
Alright.
Is it within 30 feet for point blank shot?
I believe it is. 5,
Yes.
10, 15. Yeah.
Oh, then I guess it would be 8 damage.
Every point counts.
Alright. It lets out like a bit of like a squalling shriek. It doesn't seem to like that very much. But it uses, again, both of its actions to get around to where it is. So, it is now Demisha's turn again.
Well then, I guess I'll reload as a move, stare at it again as a swift, and... Wait,
Shoot it in the face.
hold on. Was I able to do extra damage since I wasn't staring at it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think your extra damage would not apply since like that was just you just had the standard ready.
Oh.
But we'll see. If you hit it with this attack, we'll apply. We'll say that 2d6 was from the stair, from this one.
I rolled the same thing.
Yeah,
But with more damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so just add an extra 7.
I love that point blank shot.
Actually, technically an extra 9 because you would have done the normal 2 points of damage there, and then it would be 8 plus 1 plus that 6 that I already put onto it. As it comes around the corner and kind of moves into the light, Demisha takes a shot at it with the crossbow. It strikes it. The creature continues moving forward. Demisha reloads quickly, hits it again, and the creature flops down and skids to a halt in front of you.
Oh, I killed it. I killed something.
You did.
I mean, you did kind of do like 15 damage to it in one turn, so technically 17 between those 2 shots.
I was expecting something that big and scary looking to have tons of HP, but I guess not.
Oh, it did. We've just been pegging it this entire time.
Yeah, it had 47 hit points.
That's not that's not nearly as much as I thought.
Yeah, you guys have been chipping it away at. Like that's a pretty decent number for the size and like especially for y'all's level. Yeah, you did a very good job of just kiting it and keeping up, peppering fire on it as it was approaching.
Does this blob of darkness go away?
Yes, it does. When the creature collapses, the darkness effect kind of dissipates and vanishes. Ada apparently starts running about wildly.
She does not.
And again, the mark stings again, fades out a little bit, and now looking at it, you can almost hardly tell that it's even there.
Alright, so 1 to go.
There's got to be an exit to this cave somewhere that leads to some other demi-plane of nightmares.
Alright, so you guys just move deeper in the cave and start exploring some?
Well, actually, I can't.
Yeah, she needs to wait for the Human Torch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can assume.
Superhero guys.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys are all moving in more or less together. So yeah, as you move toward the back end of the cave, toward this area here, there is a crevice, and you hear this whistling sound coming out of it. As you approach, you can kind of peek through it a little bit, and looking through to the other side, you see, instead of further cave, you see trees and snow, very similar looking to the forest that you found yourself in when you first arrived on this plane.
Have we just walked in a giant circle?
It's possible.
Perhaps.
A giant non-Euclidean circle that would break your sanity if you looked at it in its whole, maybe? I don't know.
Well,
Don't know how geometry on this plane works.
think of it this way. From that forest, we had to fall down a hole in order to get to the next location, but this is the way back to the forest. So if anything, it's probably the only way to get back home.
Well, no, we do have the rope that I set so we can just climb back up.
If it's still there. And how will we get back to it?
We can just walk through the door.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if all of these connections work two-way, you can just backtrack to where you started.
Oh. Okay, then I wonder why this leads to the forest.
Probably because there's something else we need to find still.
Maybe it's a different forest.
Maybe there was a puzzle to do with those weird crows that were staring at us.
Well,
I
there is
hated those
snow.
things.
At least we'll point out, like, there's snow. There wasn't snow in the other forest.
There was snow.
Oh, well, he forgot there was snow then. He's
It
like,
has
"Was there
been quite a
snow?"
while.
But
Let's
yeah.
go.
Have we searched a cave to see if there's anything of value around?
That's a 15 to just rummage the cave.
Okay.
I was waiting for the rogue to say something.
I was trying not to be that after I took the chef hat.
Yeah, other than the dead nightmare monster, there doesn't appear to be much in this cave. Some bones, some look vaguely humanoid, some look very much not humanoid. Some of those you'd rather not dwell on what they might have come out of, but other than the rapidly dissolving nightmare creature, no, there doesn't appear to be anything worth anything here.
We briefly dipped into Call of Cthulhu here, guys.
Briefly.
But yeah,
Make an idea roll.
I'm gonna roll a stealth check just to proceed stealthily. That's a 25 to just start down this, to slowly start down this crevice.
Okay. So Lisa's able to slide through fairly easily. It's a narrow crevasse, but he's small. So you go through, you find yourself standing in, again, a forest. Looks very similar to the one that you were in when you began. You don't see the same fountain that was there when you did start. There are just trees around. You turn around, you look behind you, and you can see the rest of the party kind of looking at you through a crack in what appears just to be a normal 10 foot by 10 foot boulder. There doesn't appear to be anything around in the immediate area, creepy crows or otherwise. Looking around you, you do see off in the distance, a little ways away from the boulder that you have just crawled out of, you do see a hilltop rising up. Doesn't appear to be anything on the hilltop, but that's the only distinguishing geographical feature you see around you.
I'm going to wait for the rest of the party to get through before I proceed.
Okay, so the rest of y'all going in after, I assume?
Ada goes last.
Okay. I will say that Ada does not manage to get stuck, and if she does, a brief yank from the rest of the party can get her unstuck again.
I need to know if she gets stuck or not.
Roll a d20.
So that all the animals of the 100-acre wood can pull you out?
Yes.
I will say it's a near run thing, but she's able to get through without being stuck.
It's the armor. It's not me, it's the armor.
If you do get stuck, we can always lather you up with some honey.
I think that would make it worse.
Oh boy.
And yeah, you find yourself near the base of this hilltop. Again, that appears to be the only prominent geographical feature, and so far moving toward the obvious thing has done fairly well. And as you approach, you notice that there is a bit of a broken path. There's a little bit here. Yeah, there's a little bit here leading up. It's kind of seems to be overrun, but as you get to this clearing, you can see that it does appear to continue further up.
The perspective in this image is so weird. It seems like it's going up and down at the same time.
It is really strange.
Is it going up or is it going down?
It's going up.
Oh, I thought it was going down into a ravine or something.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on which way
up
you're.
and down at the same time.
Depends on which way you're imagining the lighting coming from. I guess if the lighting's coming from this way, then it's casting shadows on the lower parts. If it's coming this way, then it would be down to a ravine. But yeah. All right.
Domisha, come back!
The babysitter has to go find Domisha.
All right.
Domisha books it and we all book it after her, I guess.
So you guys are making your way up the stairs.
We're trying to chase down the excitable humanoid.
Alright. So you're making your way up. The hilltop seems quiet. You don't see anything moving up there. You don't hear anything moving.
Alright. I'm suspicious.
We still have Alexander just walking behind us, casting light like a torch.
I think that only lasts for 1 minute. Well, 3 minutes at my level. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would have gone away by the time we
You
finally
can put
got
it
through.
back.
I could, but there's
But
no
it's-
need.
It's bright
Yeah.
out. We don't need that.
You don't need the human torch.
Drawing attention.
Yeah. Wouldn't necessarily say bright out, but at least it is light enough that you all can see.
Can I traverse this part?
Here. Yeah. It's a little bit
here.
broken. Yeah, it's a little bit broken up, but it's not that steep, especially since you're not, like, currently being shot at or anything. Yeah, you can take your time and negotiate up those little slopes.
Yeah. I think we should, can we say we keep climbing the stairs until we're at the last step?
Sure. Yeah. All right. As you all reach kind of the upper landing here, a little bit further up, assuming you continue going, like roundabout. Hang on. Roundabout this vicinity here. You all hear this long, drawn-out howl from up above you. You don't see anything up there, but you hear something. It does sound like it's coming from the hilltop. And I am going to need everyone to go ahead and make me a will save, please.
Is this against fear?
It is.
I'm immune, and everybody gets a +2 on that check.
Nice.
Let me check a thing, because I've been forgetting that I had, like, spell resistance and stuff this entire time.
Right, with Ada's bonus, my result is 20.
Okay.
Mine is 19.
Okay, this is a fear, not an enchantment.
Correct.
Okay, so I don't get the bonus against that. And I don't know how spell resistance works for this type of thing, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll the will.
Yeah, this is technically a supernatural ability instead of a spell. Like, that's one of the differences between the two. Spell
That would be a
resistance.
21.
Okay. So, with the exception of Ada, who is literally immune to magical and I think also non-magical fear effects, you are all shaken for the balance of one round, but you suffer no further effects from that.
Ada's just like, what? What do you guys think that was?
Probably just a cold shiver. I'm sure it'll go away in about, 6 seconds.
Well,
Alright.
it is a little bit nippy here.
Are we in initiative yet, or can we keep going?
No, that partially depends on what you do.
Yo, if we keep
Ada's-
moving, we'll warm ourselves up.
Okay.
Okay.
Here, put yourselves around about here-ish.
Don't jump off the cliff, Lise. Come back.
He's so shaken he's trying to commit suicide. Oh no.
I mean, this looks like still maneuverable terrain.
Come back, Lise.
Alright.
Mama bear instinct is kicking in.
As you all continue forward, you kind of like take a moment, collect yourselves, move forward. You hear sudden burst of movement. There is a solid thump in this area as something lands, and then all of a sudden, this massive wolf-like creature shimmers into view and takes a bite at Alexander.
Okay.
Stop.
Oh, let's see. I have a.
Hell is
And it does not actually manage to hit. And now we are at initiative.
Oh, I actually get a +1 bonus on perception checks to avoid being surprised by a foe due to
Well-
danger sense.
Yeah, it didn't attempt to surprise you at this point, so.
Okay. That
Hey,
is
I
ugly.
did better than the thing.
Yeah, I imagine most of you are going to. I would like it
Appreciate
noted.
the solid 20s.
I would like it noted it does have a +1 bonus to its initiative. That was literally a 1 that it just rolled.
Good. That's what it deserves.
Tries to scare us, completely fails.
More or less.
Okay.
Alright, Demisha,
So,
your turn.
is this the final boss?
Well, the crazy old lady said that there were 5 nightmares. You've killed 4 of them, and your mark seems to be nearly faded.
5-foot step back, whatever you do first, because
Yeah.
it's probably got reach.
It is a large creature, so by default they do have 10-foot reach.
Okay, what kind of actions can a 5-foot step be?
Free action.
It's a free action.
It's a free as long as I don't move too, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
You can either move your speed or 5-foot step.
Alright. 5-foot step. Swift to stare at it. Standard action to cast Doom.
Okay. So it is now shaken and now has a total of minus
It's
4.
gotta make a will save.
It has to make a will save. You're correct.
Oof.
It is not shaken.
Damn it. Oh well.
Is it stirred?
Yes, yes, it is stirred. James Bond would be appalled.
It's fine. I
I'm
still got
sorry.
2 more first level slots.
Not shaken, comma, stirred.
Alright, I'm just gonna have to wait until my next turn to try again.
Okay. Yep, Alexander, you're up.
Yeah, he still would have had his cutlass drawn. He never sheathed it.
Okay.
So he's just gonna try to attack with that. 20.
Okay, a 20 does manage to hit, and you are able to dodge out of the way of its bite and stab it in the face with your cutlass.
Yay!
And I'm too far away to actually melee it.
And then I'm going to 5-foot step.
Okay.
And that'll be it.
Okay, it's got reach, but we do not. So let's see, that's 15 feet from me. So I'm just out of its hitbox, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, first, because it looks like we're trying to lure it back to Ada, I'm going to move my... Well, actually I can't because Alexander will be in my way, so I'm going to first take my shot with my short bow. That's a 17.
All right, that does manage to hit. It hasn't acted yet, but it did have a surprise round on you guys, so it is not flat-footed. But your shot does hit and does do full damage there.
Do you
And
want
at
to take the extra point from Domitia?
I mean, she
Because
is
it'll be
staring
top
at
of
it.
the round.
You might as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that, so 7 points, and then I'm going to move myself around.
Do you have point blank?
I don't. I
Dang.
took 2 weapon fighting instead, but everything is
Then
big.
why are you running?
Because everything is too big.
Coward.
Lise has already admitted he's a coward in the
You're
past.
the one I'm putting psychosomatic surge in. Why am I doing that?
Because I
Give it
forgot
to
you
me.
did that. Wait, in that case,
You can 5-foot step in there.
I could, and then next turn I could 5-foot step again to get within its hitbox.
You could
Well-
acrobatics around it.
I mean, you can hit there.
Oh, I didn't know I could hit there. I would have attacked normally, but yeah, I'll just 5-foot in. Actually, no, I'll stay here for this turn. And
Okay.
that'll be my turn. I can 5-foot in next turn.
Do you want to go ahead and draw your melee weapons?
Yeah, I was gonna swap out my weapons, just like shoot and then swap to rapier and dagger, and probably get a glare from Ada.
Alrighty.
Ada's not concentrating on you right now.
Yeah, it is probably a little disturbed by the giant wolf nightmare monster.
I'm
but, you know,
not disturbed. I'm not scared.
not scared,
um,
but
I guess
Has-
I'll just
has-
eat the attack of opportunity.
all right. It is going to attempt to swipe at you with the claw. I only have a macro for 2 claw attacks, so ignore the second one. And it's going to disappoint its family and all of its ancestors. They're frowning at it right now.
And then I'm gonna swing with my battle axe.
This thing has a mother.
Probably not, but you know, if it did, she'd be disappointed.
Its creator. It does
Alright.
have a face only a mother could love.
Steps in, deftly dodges its claw attack, and smacks it right in the face with her axe. And the creature is now going to attack. It's going to attempt to bite her. And
No.
well, It would be very, very close. Less so because Demetia is staring at it and gives it a -2 on its attack rolls, but it attempts to bite at Ada, and it fails because that's what it does, apparently.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. I can't do that till next turn. Keep going.
All right, Demetia.
Alright, not really doing anything else, so I'll pull out my crossbow at least, and then I'll attempt casting Doom again.
Okay. So, what's the DC on the will save?
It's DC 16, and it takes a -2 on the will save since I'm staring at it.
So effectively DC 18 then.
Yes.
All right. It is now shaken, which it is a creature made of, like, an embodiment of fear, but, you know, I didn't actually think to give it immunity to fear effects, so I'll give you that one. It is shaken. So, move action to draw your weapon, standard action to cast a spell, that's all I assume?
Yep.
Alright. Alexander, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to 5-foot step and shoot it.
Okay. Alright, that does hit its touch, and that is 9 damage because you do have point blank.
Yes.
You want to go ahead and trigger the stare for 10?
It's crushing me.
Trigger the stare?
Demetia stare because she's
Yeah.
staring at it.
Do you guys want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
You can't do it this turn, so.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't matter who does it as long as someone does. If you don't do it and everyone else misses, it goes to waste.
Okay, then yeah, definitely.
yeah, I added in the extra damage, so. Alright, Lise.
5-foot step in, and then I'm going to stab at it with the rapier and the dagger. That would be a 10 on the first one and a 21 on the second.
It's a 16
it's a
total,
16
isn't it?
on the first one.
Oh, I was misreading that. So yeah, it's a 16 and 21. My bad.
Okay, yeah.
You really should have some line breaks in there.
I need to.
Yeah.
I just don't know how. I forgot how.
It's the arrow brackets with the letters BR in the middle. Just put
That's
them at
why
the
I
end
have
of
a
each line.
B instead of a BR.
That's why it's bold.
Okay. Lise just, like, leaps forward and buries his rapier and his dagger into the creature, and it just lets out this god-awful howl.
That's 20 damage, man.
There's
Ada.
a very angry drow bearing down on it.
Ada watches Lise do this and is shocked for a moment, but then remembers that intimidate check he passed a little while ago. She's just going to go back to hitting it. Oh, wait. Actually, she's going to go ahead, since this is probably the final boss, and activate her Bastion of Good.
Okay.
So everybody takes half damage from it except me, but my AC is higher. And just so Richard knows, that makes my AC a 22.
Got it.
And then I'm gonna smack it.
Alrighty. So Ada moves up, hacks it, like, lines up a nice overhand swing, slams it down into the creature's face. It, again, howls and lets out this terrible racket. But Ada just kind of buries her axe in a little bit further, and after a moment, it stops moving, and it starts also dissolving
it.
like the others have. You guys wrecked that thing super fast.
Well, I did kind of just step in and just bury both blades into it full force.
Dang it.
Yeah,
I wasted my thing.
it had more HP than the last one did, and you all just, like, murdered
Well,
it straight
did
up.
20 in one turn.
Yeah, that was,
And right after I did maximum possible damage with my shots.
yeah. 20
These
was
nightmares should have known better
it was
than to
shy
mess
up
with
at
us.
close to half its health.
Well,
All right.
considering how easy that was, I think we'd be good if there is another fight.
But
I used my thing.
Final boss decimated.
yeah,
It's like the
number of times-
encounter.
the number of times that's happened, like I'll put together an encounter that I'm expecting to be fairly easy, and it turns out like party rolls terribly, monsters roll awesome, and it nearly kills everyone, and then like big boss fight, they roll nothing but ones and just get murdered in 2 turns. It was also rolling really terribly, and you guys were rolling well, except for that 18, which didn't quite hit because you guys are debuffing the hell out of it too.
Right,
All
did you happen to also read the Angry GM's article on player pacing?
Believe so. Player basing, you said?
No, player pacing.
Pacing. No, I don't think I have.
It's a recent one. Basically, it talks about exactly what you were just talking about. Like, figuring out whether or not battles should be easier or harder depending on how long it's been since the party had a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also valid. You guys have been saving a lot of your resources, as well. Like, you didn't use a whole lot of, like, the per day things in the last 2 fights, too, so you guys were able to basically just push through a lot of them on this one.
I feel like Domitia became particularly useful after she got the Doom spell. I should
Yeah.
have taken that a long time ago.
And, like, mesmerists are very good at locking down single big enemies.
You know, I could have
And
imposed an even further penalty on its attack rolls with Flare.
Yeah. Which Flare has a fairly low DC. It probably would have passed that, but still, like, if it fails, if it gets bad will save, or I think it's a fort save actually for Flare. But
Well, it was already taking a -2 penalty on all saves anyway, because of Doom.
oh yeah, Doom. All right, so we still have some time to do a little bit of epilogue stuff, and we'll see. I might be able to
Alexander!
toss something together for combat.
Did you guys watch that?
About 20 times.
Alexander!
So, the creature shudders, dies with this terrible howl. It also begins melting back into whatever it was formed from. The sting comes back in your hands. You look down, and the marks are completely gone. However, you do notice that the sky begins to have twinges of odd colors in it. There's a faint howling sound coming from the distance. You look out into the trees, and it seems almost as if they're twisting and warping slightly. You guys head on up to the hilltop as this is going on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you move up. The effects are beginning to become worse and worse. It's as if like the actual like fabric of whatever this plane is made of is beginning to kind of twist and crumple around this hilltop. You see in this vicinity around here, you see another large stone fountain similar to the one where you entered. Looking down into it, you see that it does in fact look over the temple where you guys entered into this plane from.
Ada's just gonna start pushing people. Go, go, go!
Yeah, Lisa's smart enough to realize this is bad, so he's gonna take his exit.
And Domitia is ready to get out of here as soon as possible.
Time to
All right. So you guys hop in, jump into the fountain. As soon as you hit the water, things seem to go black for a moment, and you wake up back in the temple where you guys left from.
Lisa immediately checks to see if his fancy dagger came with him.
I mean, was it a dream or was it another plane?
Some of both. You were in the plane where dreams come from. Since this was like you all fully going in there, I will say the dagger comes back, the chef's hat does not.
Lisa's very sad, but he just holds his dagger proudly. Mine.
All right.
No, I don't want you getting in trouble with that, okay?
I think I caused more trouble for that thing than I would get in trouble with this.
Okay. Now that we're back, we should probably go meet up with our escort friend and ask,
How long were we in there?
yes, that, and whether or not the corpse of that one dwarf kid is, doing fine.
You
Oh,
all
yeah.
just kind of left it by the entrance. I don't believe you all actually took it back outside.
No, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
sitting right there.
Yes, we better remember to grab it.
I'll carry it.
All right. You make your way over. Based on, the body doesn't look that much older than it was. It doesn't look like you've been in there for 2 months for it to decompose or anything like that. But Ada is able to pick up the body. You guys come outside, not with that soldier. And you notice it appears to be kind of late afternoon thereabouts. You come outside past the dead wolf that you guys left by the door, and your guide kind of runs over to you, or moves over. It's good, you made it. I was getting a little bit worried. It's been a while. I was just about to actually head back home. Figured you ran into something in there, gotten yourselves killed.
I had the strangest dream. You weren't there, though.
Yeah, he starts to say it's been nearly a day since you all went, and then he kind of pauses and is like, good luck. Hang on. We're just being annoying.
I have your dead friend.
Yeah, he kind of starts to say, you've been in there for most of a day, and oh my god, is that Thordle?
Well, is it?
Looks, kind of motions for you to bring the body a little bit closer, looks it over, is yeah, that's the chief's son, all right. Well, he would have preferred that he come home alive, but he'll be happy for you to bring his body back, not just leaving him to rot in some God's forsaken temple out here. Did you all do what you needed to get done?
We killed all the bad dreams.
We also killed the zombies responsible for his death.
Yes.
He seems like he nods at the zombie part, gives Demisha a bit of a, all right then, that's something, that kind of look, and then, all right, well, cards back over here. Mule got a little bit antsy, but nothing too untoward, and he heads on back over. Your cart is in fact still there. Cranky and your guide appear to have come to some sort of an agreement, at least. Although he is getting a little bit anxious to go somewhere, and you all are able to take a fairly uneventful trip back to Chief Kettle's home village. So let's move you all back to the Hibernia map. Here for a second.
Just going from map to map to map, all in reverse.
Yep.
That was a weird thought I had. If I tried to whittle a piece of wood with this dagger, would I catch the wood on fire?
No, because usually magic weapons require a command word to turn on.
Yes. This is a correct statement.
Okay, that would just be funny. Just start whittling something, and just as I'm done whittling it, catch it on fire and hand it to someone. Here.
I mean, word burning's a thing. You could activate the command word and then just etch something in. Weapons that do an energy damage, there's a command word to turn it on or turn it off. One of the kind of overlooked rules that I find most people I've run into don't really play with. Also, the fact that magic weapons, at least weapons, and I think armor as well, have something like a 20% chance to shine like a torch. That's something I don't think I've ever seen a DM actually use, though.
I've used it, but that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a DM that like consistently had a significant
That's
fraction of their magic items glowing. You all make it back to camp. Kettle, or not the camp, the village. Kettle does seem a little bit shaken up that you've brought his son back dead, but he does seem honestly grateful that you brought his body back at least. He thanks you for doing that and for not getting another member of his tribe killed in the process, and asks if he asks what you think is going to happen about the Legion camp just across, because things have been getting a little bit hairy recently. It seems like their dealings with the Legion soldiers have been less than friendly of late. He asks if you think that something will be done about that, or if you all will have been able to fix that problem.
We just left Castrum Liberium yesterday, technically, right?
No, it took us like 3 days to get to the temple.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's been a few days. Chances are the other army that was planning on attacking it probably got there already.
Yeah, it's been about a week or so.
Yeah, so whatever's going on over there, we probably don't want to get in the middle of it. Maybe it's best until we hear word from like a messenger or something. Or a scout.
Yeah, you could always you have a rogue. You could always use him to scout a little bit.
Just Lisa's gonna turn to Domitian like, time to break out that disguise kit again.
Okay,
Let's Ada was going to say, let's just go to the bridge.
I mean, that could work, but if things get hairy, we could sneak me in as a wood elf again.
I mean, my grandfather's the one that's in charge. We shouldn't have any trouble.
Unless your grandfather was taken captive.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out, won't we?
We have no choice but to find out, it seems.
Alright, Demisha's gonna go ahead and disguise Lise as a wood elf.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll.
Disguise check?
Yep.
28.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty dang good.
Beautiful. That's out of character, by the way.
Are you sure?
Yes, please would not say that. He's very proud of his drow heritage.
So, you guys are able to make your way back toward the bridge fairly easily. I assume the rest of you kind of wait out of sight while Lise goes and checks on what's going on.
Because I was just going to be a little bit ahead with them, just like out of sight while I just probed around, made sure that everything was all right, and if like travelers were allowed passage and stuff.
Right. Yeah, you come up to the bridge. It is guarded. There are soldiers watching the crossings. You notice when you previously came to Castrum Liberium, the flags on the fort in the town and the flags on the various guard posts on either side of the river were the flags of the 14th Legion. So the XIV and the bear symbol on it. You notice as you approach that there's a different flag up now. Still an Imperial Legion flag, but this time it is XIII, and there is an image of a bull on it instead of the bear.
Did they mention that Lakaya was the in charge of the 13th, correct?
Correct.
So Lisa's just gonna look at that, and he's gonna just like signal back to the others, because Lakaya is like, their whole job was to go find out, and Lakaya will want to report.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so you are waved back across with a minimum of questions of what you're doing. You can either tell them that you're just travelers, or you can show them, we're on official business for the general. Either way, you get through, like, fewer questions if you flash them the official seal. But either way, you manage to get across. And it does seem as if that Lakai has moved in since the time that you've been gone, has basically taken over the Legion camp. You see some signs of damage on the fort. It appears that somebody blasted a small hole in the wall, either through gunpowder or magic or something along those lines. There's a few alarmingly close to blood-colored stains on the walls and on the ground around it, but overall, it seems as if like there wasn't a huge battle or anything.
Does it look like it was blasted in or blasted out?
In. So you come in, again, 13th Legion banners up on the fort as well. And as I assume since you said that Lakai would want to report, that you're going to go ahead and see if you can get into the main fort. Okay. You're waved on in, and you see her and several of her officers in the kind of the main courtyard area of the fort, along with soldiers drawn up. One of these soldiers kind of goes over to her, one of the soldiers that let you all in the main gate, speaks with her a moment, and she comes over to you all.
It just salutes.
She returns, very formal military salute. So, I heard you found something with in Alias's quarters, and you were heading off to deal with it, correct?
We dealt with it, yes.
Oh, excellent. I was forced to deal with things here, and she kind of indicates the soldiers formed up in the hole in the wall, fortunately with not too much difficulty. I don't know what it was that you were having to deal with or what it was that you found, but we were refused entry at the gates of the camp. As I'm sure you're probably not surprised by that. We were forced to find other ways in, and not long after we did so, we found Alice in his quarters, dead. No signs of injury, no signs of particular struggle or anything. I believe he may have poisoned himself, but I have no way of knowing, and so far, any divinations that we've cast on him have come up inconclusive. The other officers are in my custody, awaiting to see if we can figure out what all this mess was happening and what, if any, involvement they had with it. The 14th Legion soldiers have been temporarily placed under my command, and I am in the process of seeing to it that the duties that were left neglected are being done. So,
if you want answers, you should probably ask Tribune Adamon. He seemed to be running things.
She nods, like, he actually, he has given me some rather interesting comments. I definitely intend to speak with him further. But again, I appreciate the tip there. Yeah, again, I thank you for whatever part you did have in this. I still don't know exactly what might have been going on, but it seems that...
To be honest, I really don't know what was going on either.
Entirely fair, but it seems that your grandfather's trust in you and your companions was not misplaced, so I thank you.
Ada gets this big grin on her face.
Lisa's just standing there to see if, like, if Micaiah notices that there's not a dark elf, there's a wood elf there instead.
Roll a sense motive.
That's a 17.
She gives you a bit of, like, a curious look, like she definitely took note of it. The fact that there's not a dark elf here anymore, you can't quite tell if she has come to the conclusion that you're probably him or not, but, maybe the dark elf got killed and you guys just made a new friend on the way. You don't know.
Well, Lise is going to speak up that I doubt it was poison, given that he was comatose when we had to deal with getting the item so we could solve this entire issue.
Comatose, you say?
Yes, and Lise just goes on to explain how he found him just sitting, staring, holding it in his hand, and he had to like switch it out so that they could go solve the problem.
That is almost exactly how we found him when I finally made my way into the headquarters.
More
Interesting,
catatonic
thank
than
you.
comatose.
Well, yes, but the point stands, he wasn't in any shape to poison himself. Although I could see his Tribune doing that to try and cover his traces if he had any part in this.
Well, based on everything I've been able to find, his Tribunes hadn't actually seen him since he returned either. He locked himself in his quarters, gave orders for no one to disturb him, and it seems that they carried those orders out. They say that they heard from him, orders spoken through the doorway at first, and then for a while that even that had not been coming through. So I don't know. I'll have some of my diviners check in on it and see what I can find.
Also, you may want to work on your, how do I say, diplomatic relations with the dwarves across, because he went ahead and took there were several of his troops that he took to a location, and they were killed along with one of the dwarves, and they're not that happy with him over that. So you may want to smooth relationships.
That will be more on the general's. That will be more on the general side of things, but I will send word to him. Although I imagine you all are planning on heading back to report as well.
I'll tell him.
Oh, Lisa
Very
actually
well.
thinks about it, and he takes the stuff out of his pack, like the things that he had gathered up from the dead soldiers, and just offers them to her, like, these were the belongings that we found on the deceased soldiers that I was able to find. Maybe you can see that they can be returned to their families.
She seems a little bit surprised that you did this, but takes them, and I'll do what I can. Thank you very much.
He's just looking at Ada, just like he's thinking, if I didn't do it, she would have, or she would have growled at me for not doing it.
Ada looks very proud.
It's his one good action of the week to counteract the evil dagger.
She'll start keeping a tally.
Alright, so with you've made the report there, you guys are able to head back to Caesium. The roads appear to be they're compensating for the lack of recent patrols by, you see like a couple patrols of soldiers just making their way back and forth along the roads, repairing some damage, just checking out the roadways, making sure everything's clear.
Yeah. We gotta go see if Caius is awake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my first thought too. Kaya's okay.
You come back and you go. His shop is near the outskirts. I remember us establishing that when we were first building the character. So you get to his shop pretty quickly. Justitia greets you at the door in his very laconic way, just kind of motions for you in. Caius is awake. He woke up around about 4 days ago, which would correspond to roughly when you guys made it back. He's been like kind of recovering since then. He's weak and a little bit shaken. He's still like he's able to like get up and about now, but he's still a little bit shaky about it. Says he just remembers having this really long, really drawn out nightmare, and then all of a sudden there was a whole bunch of screaming, and then he woke up, and that's about all he remembers.
I've had dreams like that.
Working with you is a dream like that. At least does say that, by the way. He's just in like the most bland, common way he can, just puts that out there.
That laugh was in character for Ada as well. Just
Yeah, adventuring in a nutshell. Everything is terrifying, and then they're screaming, and then you wake up.
I believe that's called forgiveness.
All right, but you guys are able to go. You're able to make
Wait,
largely the same.
wait.
Go ahead.
Caius is supposed to pay the 3 people that aren't me.
Yes, he was. I don't remember. I believe it was like 50
100
gold pieces. 100
It was
gold
100.
pieces. Yeah, so Caius does pay you out of just shop funds.
Yay, look at
You
all
also-
the gold we don't get to spend.
You also do notice, like, just if talking to townsfolk and stuff, the nightmares also seem to stop around about 4 days ago, around about when you came back from your little excursion. Things have gone back to normal. People have stopped, like, losing sleep and having, massive bouts of insomnia and just terrible nightmares and things like that. You guys make largely the same report to Euless. He says he's going to get a diplomatic party to go over to the dwarves and kind of recover things very, very quickly. He just kind of makes sure, like, I've heard Lakai's messengers, obviously, that she has taken command of the 14th temporarily, but I assume everything seemed in order with her when you were there, etc. Just kind of getting your take on things. And he also thanks you very much for being proactive enough to kind of help bring the matter to his attention, being proactive enough to go out and actually help solve the problem, and whatnot. So he also offers you all a reward based on, like, from his perspective as well for your actions.
Does everyone know that we were responsible for this?
No, people, like, in general, common people, just all of a sudden things stopped. They don't really know what happened. It's just, I was having these weird nightmares and now I'm not anymore. No one else I know is. The folks who sent you guys out, they probably don't know for certain, but given that they're like, hey, can you guys go fix the problem? And they're like, and then you guys were like, sure, and you left and you came back and the problem was fixed. Seems pretty good bet that whatever you did while you were out there was at least involved with it.
I want everyone to know that we are responsible for fixing this problem.
I don't want everyone to know I was involved with this. And he just points at Domitia.
But
All
that
of
would
this.
go against my master plan.
I don't want people knowing who I am. That would be in the way of my business.
Oh, fine. Leave him out then.
Thank you.
Me as well. There are people that want me dead.
All right, well, that's if there's anything I can do to help you with that, I certainly will. But yeah, I'll see if I can draw up something suitably heroic looking. And yeah, he will do his best to distribute word of the you're probably not called a mesmerist in character, but of the hypnotist and the paladin who were able to go out and make all the nightmares stop. And yeah.
Luis probably would have asked just to drop his name with some other types of contacts so he can find some work in his field that isn't explicitly illegal.
Demisha says, hypnotist? Where?
I don't know what you would call yourself, like, in character.
She's a crossbow girl.
Okay,
She uses a crossbow.
fair.
And nothing else.
She one of those doesn't actually realize she's doing magic characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I thought I made that clear in the beginning.
I remembered.
I didn't.
Yeah, you might have. I just forgot.
Luis, because he's just feeling in a mood, just waits until Domitia is only partially paying attention, and then just cast dancing lights on her crossbow to make it light up and start dancing around.
I
Just to
love
see
it.
if it catches her attention.
I love it when you do this, Lise.
Why can't you have a more normal reaction? I don't know, my crossbow's on fire.
Right now I'm too excited about my master plan coming to fruition.
What was your master plan?
To make everyone in the kingdom my friend all at the same time.
Oh,
Lisa's going to backstep towards the door and just good luck with that.
And she starts snickering to herself.
Ada's just gonna catch Lisa's
What?
arm.
Why does she sound like a villain while just trying to make friends? That sound. that tone of voice was, I am going to take control of everything, and she's like, I'm going to make friends.
I made this clear when I was creating the character. The whole concept behind her is, quote, creepy mind control.
She
And
wants to make friends by any means necessary.
Yeah, so chances are it's not going to be everyone in the whole empire. This was a local problem after all that you all fixed.
Well,
you hear about this back in...
Well,
It's a
that's
start.
why she said kingdom. It's not the entire empire, just a portion of it.
This region,
But yeah, like
Hibernia.
they'll draw up something. They'll draw up something and distribute it to the local bard and see if it sticks.
Ada's honestly not entirely sure how she feels about like having her name out there and like, oh yeah, I did this, but
They're going to write a song about us?
at the same time, this is literally her train of thought. Her train of thought is, no one would believe Domisha could do this by herself. So,
Lise actually does kind of have the train of thought. He just mentions, like, just slide in that there was a rogue helping them, or a shadowy businessman.
You could just say a team of mercenaries.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
you could.
mercenary.
You
It's-
got paid for work that was just offered to you.
No, I didn't get paid.
She did decline money.
Okay,
Yeah,
a
she
team
did.
of
Okay.
volunteers.
You're a
works.
volunteer mercenary.
I accept this. I'm actually a paladin, but okay.
Let's not try to put this too much out there. If you make
I
it
have
too
a
trumped up, they
title.
won't believe it.
I have a title.
Yes, and would they really believe that a paladin teamed up with 3 nobodies and went out on a journey?
They
Paladins-
believe it of me.
Paladins do that all the time. Adventuring paladins are a thing.
Yeah, but Lise is just like, he's super cynical and super critical right now.
Fair.
They'd believe it of me. Gestures to the half-orcness.
Oh, by this point, Lise has dropped the disguise. Like, when they were coming back,
Okay.
because
That's
he
fair.
figured the general would be like, why do you have a wood elf with you?
Alrighty. And you guys... Good.
I was gonna say that seems like a good place to end the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the campaign arc that I had planned. Congratulations, you all went into the Nightmare Realm and beat up what you found.
No kobold friend, though.
There's a nice bookmark ending too. Oh yeah, we totally forgot about the kobold side quest.
Yeah,
We were
Oh, well.
we were trying to wrap this up without
Oh,
going
well.
too long.
That will be
Kobold's
the-
just out there like,
that will be the
Waiting.
lead in. That'll be the lead into you guys' next chapter. Caius and anyone else who cares to come along goes to meet up with the kobold and see if they can set up a business venture instead of a murder people who are on the road venture.
Lise would definitely go because, like, he can probably, like, teach them in the ways of being sneaky and just set up
The
his own
opposite.
criminal empire.
This is the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish, Lise.
Okay, but this is Lise we're talking about. He is chaotic neutral. This is perfectly in his character arc.
Yeah, I'm not arguing against that.
Just Ada would have to go along just to be like, keep Caius and Lise from going at each other.
Yeah, that's what I had planned. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope that this is giving you guys a feel for how the Pathfinder system runs and works. And yeah,
it's
I want
fun.
to see if I fixed the macro, even though it's pointless now.
excellent.
There we go.
Looks beautiful.
That looks a lot better, actually.
Maybe you could put 2 breaks between the 2 attacks.
Well, it doesn't matter now, since it's never going to get used again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, more than likely. Alrighty.
Okay. Yeah, this was probably, this and the last session were definitely the 2 most exciting ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll admit the first few were definitely a little bit slow, and it's been a while since I've GM face to face, and my pacing was off on that one. So yeah, I feel like
These last 2 were good.
yeah, I feel like this one and the last one, you know, I don't know. I don't usually like just here's a string of fights, go fight them, but that's kind of what made the most sense. Like, there wasn't really any room for any other type of interaction with what you found. Basically, everything you run across is going to be at least unfriendly, if not outright hostile to you in that kind of environment.
Well, the best fight that we had was the one in the dark cave.
Okay.
Because there was actually something to the fight other than just the monster.
Right.
There was the darkness, there was the environment. Everything else we fought could have been fought in an empty void.
Yeah. And that's something that, as a DM, I need to start taking better advantage of in terrain. Let's see. The hilltop fight was brief. I was expecting to try to make a little bit more use of invisibility on that creature and stuff, but you killed him in 2 or 3 rounds.
You weren't expecting a 20 damage rogue turn.
Yeah, not necessarily. Let's see.
Imagine if I had sneak attack. That was another 2d6.
Yeah. The fortress fight was a little bit static, but I was intending for that one to be, because again, the entire thing that I was building off for that particular one was, difficult terrain, reducing movement, denying actions, that kind of thing. And that's the one that Ada managed to tip over the cliffside, because I didn't think about, there's a cliff there, someone's going to try to push him off.
Yeah, the 2 fights that were supposed to be the hardest wound up being the easiest.
I mean, even with shoving him off the cliff, I think that's the one that did the most damage, took the most resources.
Well, it was his entangling spell.
Yeah, it was the black tentacles.
Yeah, doing that much damage to most of the party. That was,
By the way,
that was a lot.
Was that an actual spell or was that a supernatural ability he used?
Basically, everything that they had was supernatural abilities.
Okay, so my spell resistance was pointless.
Yeah.
And with something like that, I don't know if spell resistance applies.
Spell resistance is any spell.
No,
Yeah.
there's some that are exceptions.
Yeah, there are some spells that spell resistance does or does not apply. You'd have to check the particular description.
Yeah, every spell description has a little section that says spell resistance?
SR, yes or
question mark.
no.
Okay, but generally it's a yes unless it says no.
Yeah.
And that is one of the differences between spell-like abilities and supernatural abilities. Both of them are negated by anti-magic, but spell-like abilities are subject to spell resistance. Supernatural abilities are not.
I'm sure that Domitia was just, I'm sure that Domitia's player was just like, why weren't you using that dagger throughout the entire giant worm fight?
But then again, you guys did a very good job of keeping it at a distance and just pecking away at it and keeping it from attacking you.
I was afraid of getting too close with how it got that chill aura plus it having a really good chance to hit.
Yeah, and it didn't actually have the ability, but it had the grab ability, so it would have made an automatic grapple check had it successfully managed to attack you. And if that's successful, it also deals extra damage from the constrict ability. So getting hit by it is not a good thing. Also, I feel like those last 2 fights that we just did this session, you guys rolled pretty poorly, fairly consistently as well.
Except for when Domitia rolled low and got a full 8 damage.
Yeah.
Just whiffs with the bolt, but it just sinks into the rock deep.
Yeah, that's one thing that's always felt a little bit weird to me about just D20 systems in general. The fact that the damage you do in your attack roll are completely
Unrelated?
unlinked. Yeah, you can just barely hit its AC and do ridiculous amounts of damage. You can get a crit and then roll very, very low.
Yeah, that's why in the game I'm developing, there is no armor class per se. There's just evasion. And all that does is determine whether or not you physically hit it. And then damage is a separate thing altogether.
Yeah, I've thought about playing around with the armor as damage reduction optional rules. Basically, it does what you say. It makes armor class and it renames it to defense, I think. And it's just, hitting. And then instead of an AC bonus, armor gives you damage reduction that can be bypassed in certain ways, I think. It's been a while since I've looked at the details.
If I had to create a house rule that just uses the current AC rules without changing any of it, I'd say if you roll at least half of the target's AC, you hit, and then the difference in your attack roll versus its AC, assuming you rolled lower, is reduced, is deducted from the damage you do. And if you roll higher than the AC, you do normal damage.
Yeah, which there's already a mechanic for that. Instead of just having it, you could make it if you beat their touch AC but not their full AC, because touch AC is basically
there's multiple ACs in this game.
Yeah, there are.
Okay, that makes things a little more complicated. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's about a good point to wrap it up. I want to wrap it up before this song that's currently playing finishes anyway, because it happens to be an ending credits theme.
Okay, that seems fair.
Okay. Alright, so good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.